What's going on, guys? Welcome to Progress on Purpose podcast. We are a community of people who seek to be intentional about how we think, act, and respond to all situations. Listen, how y'all doing? I need to know, for real, what's going on. I know it's been a minute. Life has happened. It happens. But guess what? I'm glad to be back. I done had a whole baby, a whole person, human being has come out of me, and I am loving the mommy life. In the interim, though, is motherhood is real hood. Can we talk about it for a second? I definitely have had moments of joy, of course, because I'm a mom, but also there have been many ghetto moments, okay? Postpartum for the birds. No thank you. We're just trying to get our weight back together too. There's just so many things. But I'm glad to be back on the mic. Many of you have reached out to me to find out first and foremost how I've been doing. You have shared that you've missed my voice. All of those things mean so much to me, and I'm so happy to be back on the podcast. There's so much that I really want to talk about, but let me just say this here. We're moving forward, okay? We are moving forward. One of the things I realized about this life, especially, adulting, is it can be really, really challenging to think about what's next, even if it's just like a meal. How many times do we, in the course of a week, think about what we're going to eat for dinner or what we're going to eat for lunch or whatever it is? There's so many things that we have to think about. And I don't know if I was prepared for life to come that quickly. However, you know what? I'm pushing forward. I'm taking it in stride. I absolutely love where I am. Even though, yes, there could be things that are different. Honey, I'm enjoying the ride. How about you? Okay. I need to talk about today. And I know you see from the title, honey, things are really, really coming to a head. And there definitely are some things that I want to just let go of in my life. So the title of today's conversation is, I want a divorce. I do. And I promise you it's not clickbait. There are some things that I personally need to divorce myself from. Let me just address the elephant in the room. My husband is not one of those things. I absolutely love him. Does he, grind my gears at times? Absolutely, but that's okay. I'm not, talking about him. What I am talking about, though, is the many things in my life that I'm married to that are headaches for me. Okay? A lot of things that I'm married to that are headaches for me. Let's talk about one. Inconsistency. Can we just talk about it? How many of us find ourselves in a place where we're constantly in creation mode and not in completion mode? And it's simply because we are not consistent. We come up with all these different ideas and things that we want to do, and we find ourselves in a place where it's so much easier and maybe even more enjoyable to start something new than to continue in something that God gave you to do. Am I by myself? I don't think that I am. I actually think that there is a cloud of us who have this issue where we find ourselves not being consistent, admiring the work of others who are consistent, right? People who continuously show up and do what it is that they are setting out to do. But for some reason, we find ourselves being consistently inconsistent. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's hood. It's not a good place to be. The Lord told me a long time ago that what I need to, or what I desire to experience in my life is going to come through consistency. He said, don't worry about money. That comes through consistency. Stop focusing on finances and focus on setting my intentions on serving and operating consistently. And it has literally been the bane of my existence. Like, I know that the enemy challenges me in this area because he knows once I become consistent, I'm going to be unstoppable. And it's taken, up into this year to really, really tap into that idea that it is a stronghold for me to not be consistent. I find myself always in creation mode, always trying to think about what's the next best thing. And let me tell you, I get real creative. I mean, my ideas are great. They're great ideas. And if you chat with me about something you want to do, honey, I'm going to help you get it all the way together because I think on that level. However, it's the follow through that God is concerned about. I firmly believe that, it's the follow through because it's that which shows that we are committed to the cause. What if Jesus didn't go to the cross? Like, what if he said, you know what, while he was in heaven with God, prior to him, coming onto earth, what if he said, yeah, God, I'm going to go and I'm going to finish the work. But then when he got down here, he decided, you know what, I kind of like this human thing. I'm not going to go to the cross. I want to stay around. Like, what if he didn't finish the work? You and I would be in a different place. Okay. And he's our example. So I am at a place where I find myself telling myself, Michelle, get yourself together, be more consistent. And as you are more consistent, you're going to see a greater reward. What I know is that a part of my inconsistency is because I am not balanced. Like, I was listening to a podcast by Sarah Jakes Roberts, the Woman Evolved podcast, which if you don't listen to it, honey, go on over there and check out her podcast. It's awesome. But she did a interview with her husband, Torrey, and I believe it's called Revolutionary Power or Revolutionary Favor or something like that. Look it up. It's the one with where she's interviewing her husband. But he wrote a book and he talks about balance. And so on the podcast, she was asking different questions as it related to balance. And one of the things he was saying, because the question that she asked alluded to, well, how do you show up for all the things that you're doing? You're a pastor, you're a husband, you're a father, you do all these things. How do you show up authentically in all of these areas? And his answer was that if you try to if you try to divide yourself, so to speak, something is going to go lacking. The thing to do is to find balance within yourself and to center yourself. And if you, the person, are balanced, then you're able to give 100% to the many things that you do. Of course, he also talked about, the importance of self-care and how when you take care of yourself, you can show up better for everyone else, which I was like, yeah, right about now, I definitely am feeling that. My baby is 3 months old, about 15 weeks, and I could use a little bit more self-care. So I found myself telling myself, okay, Michelle, get back on, get back to a place where you're working on, eating properly. Because, honey, I can't even tell you what I've been eating. I don't even know. Everything has been baby, baby, baby. But I can't keep this up. Like, I literally cannot keep this up. And what I need to do, I'm realizing, is be more balanced. So taking the time to center myself on a daily basis, and tap into what, I need first. And then what are those things that I want to do? I actually do use my daily intentions planner to write out those things that I want to do. So I am organized, okay? And organization is not the problem. It's simply the balance. Hey, intentional people, I had to interrupt the show to tell you about a resource that I know we can all benefit from. As go-getters and goal-getters, sometimes we get stuck. We get hindered and we find ourselves needing help in one area or another. I know personally, I lived for many years hindered by the opinions of others, which led to many insecurities and setbacks. It took more than prayer to get me out of the funk that I was in. What helped so much was talking to a licensed therapist who helped me get to the root of my issues so that I could build myself back up to see myself as God sees me. I began seeing a therapist on a consistent basis, and it changed my life. This is why I'm so excited to tell you about BetterHelp.com. It is a secure, online professional counseling service that is available for clients worldwide. Let me tell you about 4 things I absolutely love about this service. First, there is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's counselor network that may not be locally available in many areas. You can log on to your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so that you never have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room like with traditional therapy. BetterHelp.com is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. Progress on Purpose podcast listeners get a special discount of 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/POP, which helps save more money off of this amazing service. Visit betterhelp.com/POP to start a conversation today. You never know. It may be the most important conversation of your life. That's betterhelp.com/POP. Getting myself to a place where I'm at peace, I'm within balance within myself, so that I can show up in all these other areas. What I find myself, because I'm unbalanced, is I waste time. I find myself wasting time. And I know I'm talking about myself tonight, but I also know that I may be preaching to the choir, because I feel like many of us who are listening have found ourselves there. Let me know, though. Am I by myself? Put a comment on today's conversation, because I definitely need to know that I'm not out here by myself, okay? But I find myself, because I'm not balanced, even though I'm organized, I know what I want to do, I am still looking for so many other things because I haven't settled within myself. So you know what I go to? Social media, honey, TikTok. I will spend so much time on TikTok, on Instagram, looking for entertainment and looking for things to satisfy this urge to have, I don't know, I guess it's like mindless behavior. I really just don't know. But I'm crazy because I know I have goals. I know I have dreams and things that I want to accomplish. But I just find myself maybe even sometimes getting overwhelmed. So I'm like, I ain't going to do none of it. And I worry sometimes because I'm like, okay, what does not the paper Michelle, but what does the Michelle that other people see look like? Do I look unbalanced? Do I look like I'm all over the place? Like, I worry about those things. And not that I'm coming from a place where I'm saying, I care what people think, because I mean, to a degree, even though we say we don't, sometimes, we do, but I'm not even there. I'm just more so like, what am I giving out? What am I putting out? And do I look like I am crying out for something? Am I just continuously in creation mode? And in that same vein, do I show that I'm inconsistent? And I would much rather be consistent than anything else. So I really want a divorce from inconsistency, because it's messing with my whole life. It's throwing me off. And I gotta get to the root of what that is. I was even reading the word. Paul talked basically about how in our flesh dwells no good thing. And when he wants to do good, like evil, it's right there. Like, so we have a war going on where we can't do the things that we say we want to do. To me, that sounds almost like a little inconsistency. So I know I'm not by myself. Okay. Nonetheless, there is a desire and even a drive in me to push forward and keep trying. I gotta keep trying. So what I know to do, and I need, to do, is just be a little bit more disciplined. Yeah, it's the discipline for me. It's the discipline. And am I by myself? Like, how many of us millennials, or even, a little older than millennials, find ourselves lacking discipline in certain areas of our life? Maybe we're able to be disciplined at work, but when we clock out, it's just no holds bars. All hell could break loose because we don't have the discipline to mind ourselves, or literally our business, right? We can be disciplined enough to do what we have to do at work and to show up for other people because we're on the clock. But when we clock out, I could go to the gym, but I'm going to go get some pizza instead. Or I did say I was going to go, help so-and-so, but I don't feel like it. So I'm going to text them and tell them I can't make it. Like, it's the discipline that I'm lacking in that department. Being able to hold myself accountable for the things that I say I'm going to do, and just doing them more consistently. So y'all, we just need, I know I need help. And how about you, honey? And so guess what I did recently? Because I know that this is an area that I want to conquer. I enrolled back in therapy. And I had a conversation with my therapist about my propensity, my propensity to keep starting something new rather than being consistent. I'm always in creation mode, and I'm not necessarily in completion mode. And we started the conversation, but we kind of diverted. But the next time that I speak to my therapist, I'm definitely going to dive in. And I hope I remember to share, because this is something that, has been plaguing me for a long time. And I know I'm not by myself. And many of us, around the 30, 40 mark, we grew up in a time where multitasking was was everything. We were taught, we were raised to multitask. You start multiple things. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Do this and that. And even so much now, more than ever, it's all about as opposed to depth. It's so many things are, do things on the surface, have multiple streams of income, have multiple streams of this and multiple streams of that. And if we're not careful, we don't go deep enough to develop the things that we started to do. I talked to my girlfriend Lee. She has conversations with Lee on Monday mornings on her Instagram. I'll be sure to link it. Let me make a note. But in our conversation, one of the things that was revealed to me that I talked about was sitting and developing the details, because God gives us so many things, so many great ideas. And sometimes we just press go too quickly, or we abandon it too quickly. But if we sit in it and develop it and allow God to show us the full depth of what it could be, then when we do press the gas, we can go forward, with full fidelity at 100 miles an hour. And we already know, kind of where we're going. But sometimes we give a little snippet and then we move on. We give a little snippet of something and then we move on. But I'm going back to sitting and developing, more time in development of the areas that, I want to go deeper in, to prioritize. I firmly believe, and God told me this a long time ago and continues to remind me, that I, and not just me, but we have everything that we need already inside of us to fulfill the vision that God gave us. And so here's the push for today, or for this episode. Go back. Go back to that place and that time and that thing that you want to complete. And find the discipline that you need. Exercise the discipline that you need, you and I need, to be able to remain consistent. Divorce inconsistency by being more disciplined. And that may mean for some of us a fast. Like, cut the social media out. Go on a social media fast. Or whatever it takes. Like, because at the end of the day, don't you want what you desire bad enough that you're willing to sacrifice for it? Like, that's why we got to divorce these things that are headaches for us. Like, for me, it's inconsistency. But for you, it may be something very different. What is it that you need to divorce yourself from? That thing that you literally are married to. It's been on your back and you've been carrying it for so long. You've been committed even to it for so long. Like, it's time to let that go. It's time to let that go, because it's not serving you. It's not allowing you to do what God has called you to. It's literally stifling you, choking you, holding you back. It's an abuse. You in an abusive relationship with whatever that headache is. I can tell you right now, I'm in an abusive relationship with inconsistency, and I'm divorcing it. I'm divorcing it, because guess what? I have too much inside of me to stay connected to it. How about you? Put yourself in that sentence too. You have too much inside of you to stay connected to something that is no longer serving you, that has never served you. What is that thing that you're married to that has not served you yet? Because a relationship, honey, should be a two-way street. It should be give and take. So, yeah. We got some work to do. We have some work to do. I definitely am encouraged more than ever, especially being a mom now. I'm more encouraged and even inspired to show up as my best self. Because guess what? My son is looking at his mommy now like, what we doing, Ma? Like, I literally think about, when my son is old enough to understand even a glimpse of what life is. I want to be able to show him that you have the power inside of you to do whatever it is that you desire to do. As long as you love God, remain faithful, be consistent, be disciplined. All of these things that we spend so much time instilling in our children, over time, and even in school, like these are a lot of the same things are taught over many, many years. But the ball gets dropped along the way. And I want my son to see that example of consistency and what that can bring in me. I know for a fact that when I get this thing like really down, I'm gonna be unstoppable. Because and I promise you, I'm not bragging on myself. I'm really bragging on God, because I know what He said to me, and I know what He put inside of me. And I could brag on God all day long, but it means nothing if I don't do my part. So yeah, I'm really talking to myself today, but I hope that during this staff meeting that I'm having with myself today, it resonates with you too. Like, do you find yourself here with me? And if you do, whatever that thing is that you are married to, commit to being divorced. Print them papers out, honey, and sign them. And then let them be served. I'm serving papers today to inconsistency through discipline. So I'm going to set myself up with discipline. Matter of fact, I already started. One of my old trainers, a guy who used to train me, like workout, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, what's going on? Which program would you like to choose?" And I could have just ignored it. But I said, you know what? No, I want to sign up for this program. Sign me up, honey. Because guess what? One thing I do know is I'm paying you, and that's going to help me be disciplined. Sometimes we got to pay for it. That's a whole word. Everything that we need is not going to be free. Sometimes you got to pay for it. You may have to pay for accountability. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. You may have to pay for the access. I don't know what it is that you desire to do, but you may have to pay for it. My brother says it all the time. You're either going to spend time or you're going to spend money. Sometimes we got to spend money to get the things that we need. Okay? If it helps you. If God provided and it helps you, honey, money is currency. Get it. You do what you got to do. Do what you have to do. Right? So that you show up better. And when you show up better, you feel better. So I'm done rambling for tonight. But I definitely want to leave you encouraged. Let you know that, if you found yourself here with me, honey, you're not by yourself. But guess what? We're not staying here for long, because we're committed to being disciplined. We're committed to divorcing ourselves from that very thing that is not serving us. Right? That's what right? We're committed, right? Okay. I know. I just want to let everyone know how much I love you, appreciate you. If you found this episode to be helpful, please go ahead on Apple Music. Not Apple Music, honey. I don't have no music yet, even though I should. Go on to Apple Podcasts and leave a comment, or head on over to Instagram or Facebook, Make Progress on Purpose, and leave a comment there. Let me know. I'm going to be looking. Let me know if you found this episode to be timely, to be helpful. A little bit of rambling. That's okay though. We chatting. Okay. I love you all. I want to let you know that I have so much in store for this show. I am lining up some awesome and amazing people to come on and talk about how they are being intentional and what they are doing in their respective spaces. One of the things I wanted for this podcast was to not allow this to be a space where it's like, I made it and here are the things that I did. No, what are you doing now to put yourself in position to be where you want to be? And those are the type of people that I like to talk to. Right? So if you like that kind of content, stick around, honey, because we are going somewhere. Even with me, I have multiple businesses that I'm building, and I often talk about the process because it's in the doing that it gets done. Okay? So that's it for tonight. Love you all. I'll be back very, very soon. And yeah, go ahead and continue to make progress on purpose and be your best.